All right, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I had to reboot, not reboot, but reset the tab, see if it worked. Yes, this is the place. Yes, this is the place. Hello, 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 everybody. How are you guys doing? Lovely to see you guys there. Can you hear me well? Uh-oh. It's not using our microphone as it was supposed to use our microphone. Can you guys hear us? Let us know in chat for those of you who can hear us. We want to make sure you guys can hear what we're saying. All right, beautiful. Well, apparently it decides to use the other microphone again, but that's fine. Whatever, it works. It's not as clear. This mic's the mic that you're going to have to use, so when question time comes, you have to project your voice towards that. For whatever reason, it will not let us use that one. But yeah, it's cool. It's not the microphone, it's the software. It keeps resetting it to default as the webcam microphone because it's using the webcam to distribute. So
you can't reset it?
Nope. I might be able to. I don't have
the reason I said that is because we've had that mic for a while.
I know. It's just for whatever reason. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. I can hear my own voice now through the thing. So
could be reading the mic as headphones.
No, so it's definitely just the presetting that messes it up. And, yeah, no worries.
Can you send me that link so I can chat with you?
I can send you this link so you can chat with people. Absolutely. How you doing, everybody? We are here a little late, and right off the bat, we want to tell you that Lilith has been sleeping for a little while, which means she's due to wake up. And when she wakes up, and her diaper's dirty, and her belly is empty, she can get a little fussy. So you might hear a little bit of the Lilith going nuts just for a few minutes while Kalina gets the milk situation.
Yeah, she's usually either super duper chill or super dramatic. Yeah. You guys hear me, by the way? I wanna project, but also not be so loud that I wake up baby and Bobby.
Yeah, so if you guys can let us know if you just heard everything that Kalina said and heard it well, that would be great. Also, I'm sorry to bounce off you guys. We could just listen, but then it can cause. Yeah, I haven't sent it yet, sweetie. I'm sorry. I'm still getting it. And then I can't see what your guys' comments were. Another thing I wanted to say, we've got a few new people this month, and that's always beautiful. Normally when I write out the outline for the questions for the Q&A webinar, I'm very specific, but this month we were in a hurry, and I assumed, I over-explained it. But this month we had a few people send in multiple questions, and for this webinar, we're only taking one question per person. So if by any chance you did send multiple questions, then the first one that pops up during the during the drawing of names will be taken randomly. If you did send multiple questions and you had a preference, you could try to let Kalina know, but we're not going to guarantee we can catch that in the thing. Yes, they can hear you fine, sweetie. Beautiful.
Did you send it yet?
It's a little soft on Kalina's end. Yes, I just sent it, sweetie. They said it's a little soft, but they can hear you. Other people said they can hear you fine. Once baby gets up, her voice will be louder too, so that'll be fine.
Jeremy has his. You put on the white noise machine. You put on the.
Yeah. He's got the nature sounds going for him.
I can hear myself really well, actually.
Yeah. So we're good.
When I was putting that on.
Yep. So that's the thing. Can you pause this instead of muting it, because it takes away more broadband if we pause it? Thank you,
sweetie. As long as it doesn't mess with the live chat.
It won't mess with the live chat. It shouldn't. Go ahead and type something in and see if it shows.
Well, how about I ask someone to say, hey.
Well, I'll just type in something, right? Sorry, guys. Normally, normally we have tech handled fairly easily. Most of the tech that we were dealing with was very simple. Kalina and I both, I don't want to brag, but we're both a little savvy in the tech department, so we can figure out.
I consider myself okay.
Well, okay, then I guess I'm very savvy in the tech department.
I think I've let myself fall a smidgen behind
Of course.
during my pregnancy and 9 months plus
Yeah.
baby time and tech time, definitely.
Okay.
Connie says it's buffering.
All right. Is
if
Connie
you
the
guys-
only one? Well, we can
Yeah,
figure
let's
out by
ask
going
Eduardo.
live.
Is it buffering for all of you? 'Cause
I'm just going to go live on my feed so we don't have to bug anybody. No, it's good on my side. All right. So it might be your internet, Connie. Hopefully you get it back up.
one trick you can do is any big programs like other YouTube tabs, Facebook, like Amazon,
In
Netflix,
any of your
anything
internet browser tabs, but also programs like if you have
games,
online
programs,
games, editing, any of that stuff.
music that you have, like music apps.
Any program that you run that uses internet that connects with online things, if you shut that down too, that'll help. But if it's buffering, you might not hear the suggestion unless it's playback. Hopefully, it comes back to you. And let us know, Connie, if you hear us. We want to make sure you're with us too tonight. Ooh, I forgot. I need to also. Can you do me a favor and forward that email to Susan with a link on it? I'm gonna text her now and let her know.
Okay.
Look at your email from Kalina, period. It has the link for tonight, period. We love you. Hope to see you there with us, period. Sorry, guys. Like I said, normally we've got all the tech things we'll have, but the good news is, regardless, the tech that we can use should be fairly simple if we don't get fancy with it. Like, I know that you guys have seen YouTube videos that have live streamers who have these little pop-ups, and every time someone donates, a balloon blows up, or, for the video game videos, a little soldier runs across going, shooting guns. I mean, it could be a million different things that happen. When someone donates or when someone makes a comment or people vote on comment, I mean, those types of applications are the types of programs YouTube's requiring people to use, unless you're using it like we are right now, where we're just running through a webcam and only have the link available at the time of the live stream itself, unless you want to keep a tab open and pray it doesn't shut down.
We're going to have something soon.
Casey, for sure.
Casey was saying Zoom is really nice too, so I think we just check out our options this month.
Yeah, we used to use Zoom a long time ago when we used to do our monthly webinars. Well, it wasn't brand new, but it was close to new as you could get, probably. Yeah. And it was a little rough. We know that it's gotten better from now, but we looked through some of the pricing. And the problem is we want to be able to have people join us too. For interviews, things like that. And we definitely don't want a 45-minute limit. So some of the things that we wanted to utilize for that, for major online events, things like that, could end up costing over $100 a month because you have to add on each specific type of new thing that you want, unless you get premium. But I'm sure we could use for these things, especially with just me and Kalina sharing the same microphone and computer, we definitely could use it. But thank you guys for suggestions. Any suggestions that you have on easy to use encoding programs that also live stream or simulcast, that would be great. We already know about OBS Studio and Wirecast. Wirecast is a paid version. OBS is a free version.
Stream internationally too. We want to make sure it's not just.
Simulcast, as long as it can broadcast on the platforms that we already use, like YouTube, Facebook.
Well, no, my point is making sure that people can reach it from any country.
Right.
Hear us from any, you know what I mean?
Right. If you're using YouTube, it just plugs into the YouTube rules. It's not, YouTube restrictions will be the only restrictions, at least for encoding software. But for other software, like external software, Zoom, stuff like that. Definitely need it to be international. Well, no, it's I mean, if you want to share with us, that's great, guys. If there's any suggestions, any ideas, but we will quit talking tech because that is a boring game for many people.
Well, it's not that. I just want to make sure that we get, while you're nice and refreshed, we want to make sure your body is like, you know how like we want to get as many questions in as possible.
Yes.
Just thinking, let's get, because man, there's some really good questions. And I was looking over and I'm like, well, this is gonna be a really fascinating, awesome night.
Good.
So,
yeah, we should get to
not
it,
to try
guys.
to push you or anything.
No.
Things we can research.
Absolutely not. One thing is, if you're in the live stream and you have not commented yet, you have not said hello, anything like that, please do.
Thank you, Cindy.
Please definitely use the chat, even if you just say I'm here, if you haven't commented yet, because those who comment in the live chat have the possibility and the ability to to have 3 questions asked at the end of the time. Your name will get chosen from a random draw, and whoever is there will be able to ask those 3 questions. So please, by all means, if you're here and you haven't commented, please do, and that would be great. One second, guys, we have to check out this tech issue real quick.
And we'll look at Hannah and see if...
yeah, Hannah, we might not be able to tell what date those questions were sent. The forms only send us the questions themselves.
Well, I'm going to check to see if her name's on here.
Okay. Yeah.
As long as you put your
if
name
it's on the
question.
form that we had up on the one posting, then it should be, for sure. We'll definitely check, though, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely check that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, while Kalina's doing that, I want to run over a basic principle behind...
Well, wait 1 second. I don't see a question from you, Connie. Do you have the link? So well, actually, I can.
Yeah, you got the link there.
You can talk.
Basically, what I wanted to share with you guys is something that I always usually share right before the session starts, private sessions or webinars or group sessions. And basically, these questions that you're going to ask tonight are private questions, deal with a lot of personal energies and a lot of personal subjects. And those energies are connected to different energies within and outside of yourself. The example I always give is relationships. Relationships are very universal. Everyone can understand, whether it's a relationship with their parents, their children, a lover, a friend, a neighbor, whatever the case is. When you ask a question to Aridif or Treb, you ask the example, hey, what about me and my friend? There's this thing going on, la la la. So the energies that are usually involved in that is emotional energy, mental energy, heart energy, sense of self energy, safety energy, all those chakra basics. And then you have, aura field, all those different kinds of energies. And there are thousands, and most of them don't have names. From our perspective, we don't know how to identify those energies. And those light up and connect. And when it comes down to the energy, it all groups up, goes into the higher self, and then it goes out to whatever entities or beings are connecting. Your guides will work with that energy, maybe a generic guide or galactic guide, galactic family. Then it goes over to the higher self of the person that you have this relationship, their lower self, their higher self, their guides, their spirit guides. And all the energies that are relevant to them. And once all those energies are activated from the question itself activates that energy that's relevant. Aridif, Treb look at that energy, they look at the question, then they get back the energy from their perspective. And the reason I tell everyone that before we get started is to remember, if you guys have fun while you're listening to the questions being asked, when you're receiving the energy or information back from the questions, even if it's a tough question, even if it's one of those really hard, painful questions, have as much fun with it as you can. When that happens and you're excited and the question is being produced to Aridif or Treb that are reading your energy in that moment, and the moment you're listening, and the moment, 2 weeks later when you re-listen, and the more that you connect with it with fun, the more reflective that'll be into an acceptable energy for you. If you have anxiety and fear, then it can come back to you in a way that might trigger anxiety or fear in you also. So just try to have as much fun with it as you can. Enjoy yourself tonight, guys. And I am going to start neutralizing. I'm not sure if Kalina wants to talk to you for a little bit to kind of catch you up on what she's doing there, or if we meet down. But either way, I'm going to shut down for 5 to 7 minutes to neutralize. I'll see you guys back.
Well, I hear a baby stirring, so she may or may not be enough. Do you wanted me to go over something in particular?
No, you were writing someone, so I didn't know if you wanted to explain what was going on.
No, I was accidentally writing a private message and I had to delete it, and then I accidentally sent something to Connie, and then made it for Hannah. So I'm sorry, guys. I've had like maybe a total of an hour of sleep, so my brain's a little loopy.
1.25 hours.
Yes. Well, okay.
It's funny, we had a discussion about that earlier and we couldn't agree on the right number.
I kept trying to get a nap all day, and every time I get down, like we finally have Lily asleep. And
Baby was like,
she would
Mom,
get up.
Food now.
Yeah, I was like nonstop, like breastfeeding all day, and
that's the fun of breastfeeding. You're not on your schedule no more. You're on baby's schedule.
Yeah, I think she was just cluster feeding. She's growing. She's got a lot of catching up to do because she was born 3 weeks early, so she's still a little small. But
it's funny.
Now she's finally asleep, and I was like joking, of course it's when we're doing this thing. So
it's funny, we met a couple that they're young. They're in their early 20s.
Our age.
Yeah, and we met them because I was wearing a sloth shirt, and
I was wearing Celtic designs.
Yeah, and anyway, we started talking. We had a lot in common. They're by no means a fundamental version of anything, and they have some alternative beliefs.
Very much into like a lot of what people would call paganism.
Paganism, yeah. Nordic paganism especially, which me and Kalina both find extremely interesting. So It was an easy fit.
Although they won't particularly call it that, just for understanding an idea of what they believe.
Sure.
Most people would peg it as paganism.
Absolutely. And we started talking. We got to talking. Kalina was doing her blood sugar test, diabetes test for gestational, which takes 2 hours.
Well, no, this was the first one.
Right.
First trimester.
Right, but they still gave you the test. That's why we were there for so long. So we were there for 2 or 3 hours. I can't remember if it was the 2 or 3 hour version. And we talked to them the whole time. So we became friends, and we've got to know them since and spent time with them. They came up when Lily was born. We went when their son was born. And this kid was almost as big as Lily is now at 2 months old when he was born. I mean, he's just this big, beefy kid. So it's funny. It's like Lily's 2 months old. She's still very small.
He was born late. He was born on Lilith's exact original due date.
Yeah, she was supposed to be the 15th. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, we know they're like some sort of soulmates to the core.
Oh yeah, they're definitely meant to have been in our lives.
They both have big, long, fluffy eyelashes, adorable babies. But he, because I think he was like born a little late, he apparently sleeps through the night, like right off the bat, which is almost like, I've never heard of that for a newborn, which is amazing.
It can happen from what I've heard, but it's just very, very abnormal.
Yeah, but that's good. If that's healthy for them, that's freaking fantastic, because they work really hard, and they both work, and they work long hours, so I'm really glad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Babies at don't have to like cluster feed and all. We're the kind of parents who should, because we can set our hours at home and all.
And Hannah's checking in with you on something
Okay,
too.
sure.
All right.
No, Hannah, I didn't see your question, but I sent. Yes, I can resend the link right here for you, and then you can send your question.
She might have sent it in already. That's the way I read it, but maybe.
Oh, did you? Okay, well, I'll double check and let you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure though. I might have got mistaken
Oh.
myself. And I know you guys miss our pretty faces, and I know you guys are in love with seeing us while we're chatting with you and while I channel. But until we get our office in our new apartment, once we move there, we'll probably keep it off camera just because it's such a small place and Kalina has to walk back and forth, and obviously she doesn't want to breastfeed on camera for everybody. So
we would have to charge significantly more. Sorry, guys. I didn't plan on doing camming for the year.
Nice.
I don't see your question yet, Hannah. Make sure that when you submit your question, to hit the submit button at the bottom, and then your question.
And also put your name in front of the question.
Yeah, put your name in front of the question. Otherwise, I won't know if it's from you. I don't see any questions that aren't listed. But yeah.
And you refreshed it?
Yep, I refreshed it.
Good.
And I'll refresh it again in just a minute. Let me check chat and make sure. Okay, let me check again. I'll refresh it and look for you.
Yeah, because normally we shut down responses, but we knew with all the switches and the two people who had their sessions moved this weekend, who I asked to join us.
Yeah, I got your questions, Connie. And just so you guys know, when we do these things, it is one question per person, because we don't usually get to everyone's questions because there's so many. So it's always good to kind of know. And if you have something that's a lot, I always suggest thematic kind of questions. So it's a little bit more all-encompassing, even though it's like one question. If you have something on a certain theme.
It's hard to do too without the questions and questions sometimes.
Well, I know.
That's another one of our guidelines, not to have. Some people are like, hey, I wanted to know about this past life, and I also wanted to know if that affects my children. I want to know about my children's school next year. And it turns one question into 450. So we've tried to steer clear of that too.
You could be like, how does this energy affect myself and the generations of my family?
Sure. No, and that's what I mean. It's absolutely right. Absolutely. I knew what you meant. I'm just saying too. So for some people, it's hard to craft a question in a way that is thematic without multi-questioning.
For those of you that listen to Wendy Kennedy's channelings of the Pleaidians, they give really, really good advice on how to ask questions and how to be specific, but also how to get more information.
And if you guys like Wendy Kennedy, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, it wasn't you.
I was just gonna say, if you guys wanted, or if you guys like Wendy Kennedy, she just joined our little Patreon friends group. So go to Facebook, type in ET Whisperer Patreon friends group, join the group, we'll add you. And it has Patreon links only, so we let everyone come in, not just Patreon people. Because it's just the Patreon link. It's not like people who aren't in can get a hold of the links here and cut into your guys' times and questions and energies. But Wendy Kennedy, our dear friend of almost a decade now, joined that group. So if you want to say hi to her, you can catch her at our Patreon friends group there. Yeah. She is great though.
I'm looking for your question now, Hannah, and I am still. Yep, there you are.
There it is. And guess what? Woo. We got a Susan question too.
Susan,
hello. We know you're here now. Yay. Susan, I know you don't like to always come to the chat to say hi, but if you want a chance to ask 3 questions, or any of you who are listening who haven't typed anything in chat, just say, hey, I'm here, or hi, or 3 dots.
That might be why some people sent 3 questions. You might have confused them about what you mean by them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it could be. Yeah. And 1 second, guys, we're going to check something out here.
But we need to.
Okay. All right. So that's it then, guys.
Well, I actually did want to clarify that, though.
Oh, please do.
Okay.
Please do.
So what Rob means by, for those of you guys that are new, the 3 questions he's talking about is we have a drawing at the end of every Q&A, and you have a chance to win 3 questions. Originally, it was like 15 minutes where you call in through Facebook, but because of Lily not sleeping through the night, it looks like she's starting to head that direction, which is awesome. So
she sleeps more in the evening than
once
in the
we
day.
move, you'll be able to actually have the option to call in live and ask. But for now, we're going to do the 3 questions because on average, that's about 15 minutes anyway. And I'll send my email to the winner. So basically, anybody who's in the chat room right now, I'm collecting your names, and you guys are all entered in automatically.
Yeah.
Unless you say, nope, don't want it, don't care for it, then I'll take your name out. But we've never had that before, to my remembrance.
No.
But that's what that's about. So, I mean, if you want to send your questions ahead of time, you feel really particularly good about manifesting tonight, then actually I'll just go ahead and put in my email right now. You can send it.
And for those of you who, while Kalina's typing that, for those of you who are here but are not in the chat, please feel free to just say hi, put 3 dots, put 1 question mark. Any way that your name pops up there, you'll be put in the drawing regardless, even if it's just a smiley face.
Yeah, it's really fun. We just thought it would be like a really fun perk, kind of like a miniature little reading, and it can be universal questions, it can be personal questions, anything that you guys want.
Anything you want.
And that's the other thing we also say with these things. I know a lot of if you've gone to other places, they say to only ask universal questions. We believe that whether it's personal or universal, it still helps because
it's still universal, right?
Right, a lot of us are more similar than we realize. And for those of you that listen to Abraham, that's channeled by Esther Hicks, there are a lot of people that put clips there, and most of those are personal questions. I've learned so much from the universal questions versus personal, because it's kind of the macroscopic collective and then the microscopic individual, and we're all interconnected. So that's just how we see it. So.
And even if it has nothing to do to relate to your experience, another person's personal question, the energy behind the answer, or the answer itself, or the question itself, can lead you into a lot of your own personal energies and stuff like that too. Yeah. So
I want to say that because I notice a lot of you guys are new, and wanted to welcome you guys again. And I don't want you to feel shy, because I did see a couple of people mention in the questions, is it okay for me to ask personal questions? And then you sent a universal question too, because you just weren't sure.
Sure.
Don't worry about it. And that's no judgment to any of the other channelers or psychics who are only taking universal questions. I completely understand. It's from wanting to have questions that help the whole collective, but the way we see it, every question, if you're here and you're asking a question, it's going to help. Even if you're saying, what color is my aura?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll learn a lot more about the aura and what it means, whether or not it relates directly to you. You might have a friend who's very similar in vibration.
And that's the best thing between Treb and Aridif. They read the collective and the personal, and they always translate it both ways. So even if someone's asking a universal question, they make it very specific to that person's experience, and vice versa. They have the personal questions being blasted out to macro expressions of that. So
see, Theta is probably probably very genius, Theta says, I'm new and my questions might not be that intelligent. I'm like, yeah, that's probably the smartest one in the room.
Oh, yeah. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works. All right, guys. I am going to neutralize.
Yep,
Please
check
feel
on
free.
baby.
Please feel free to let people know if they come in and say, did I miss it? Is this the right place? La, la, la. Just let them know, hey, you're in the right place and Rob's doing his thing. He'll be back. Kalina will be back.
One more thing.
Sure.
If baby wakes up during the session, I'm going to highlight some questions for Aridif. It'll be a little bit slower. Believe it or not, he is capable of kind of moderating and reading and go. He's even fixed technology before on the computer that I couldn't
to be
figure
fair,
out.
he does have my smart tech brain to use.
Yeah, it's funny. It just takes a little bit longer for him to navigate through stuff.
Well, he can't talk and use my eyes at the same time. That's the problem.
He can't walk and use your eyes. He has to. It's just really funny. I don't understand how that works, but it's pretty impressive. So what I'll do, in case baby gets fussy and have to change her diaper and it takes a while, I'm going to close a door over there, change her diaper, highlight the next questions for Aridif to read, and then I'll be back. And if you hear her fuss for a little bit, we'll take a little pause. But once she lashes, that's it. She's gold, and we're good to go. So
yep.
I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. That may or may not happen tonight. Just depends how long she wants to sleep. So
very true.
She's getting at the age where she can sleep longer hours safely without having to feed every couple hours. She's been feeding all day, so she might be full still. So anyway, I think we should get going because it's already 10:15, and I want Rob to still be nice and awake because the longer his body is awake, the more questions we can get in.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
I'm going to put
guys.
a note here. If you guys see anybody else signing in or joining the chat and say what's going on, just let them know. Rob
if you can.
If you can.
Or if
Rob,
you feel like it.
Rob will be back within 5 to 7 minutes is usually what he usually.
That's what I say, but it's usually 6 to 9. On
do you want to say 6 to 9 minutes? Just to change it up.
Yeah, why not? I like that. Yeah, because I've got to use the restroom before we start too. So 5 to 7 minutes, 6 to 9 now.
That's a long 9 minutes. I don't think I've ever done 9 minutes.
I don't know. Last night we probably did 10 because we had to do stuff with baby and had to use the restroom and had to.
I can't wait till we can move and get the office. It's going to be amazing. And then
we can make our own TV show.
We might be having Rob's sister work with us, so she'll be nice.
Yeah, now that Jeremy's with us, we're going to need full-time help with him and with our work, so we might hire in my sister to help us. She's already offered to help with Jeremy and whatever we need, so we're thinking about that, working on that, all that good stuff. But
that'll free up more.
It'll free up more time for me to channel, right?
Videos.
Because I don't have to worry about any of the other stuff like emails and sessions.
I just heard Lily.
Burglar's up.
She's really good with timing usually, though. She'll listen to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check on her. That'd be great if she's already nursing.
Because by the time my neutralizing's done, she'll be set up with you, and you can rock and roll.
Yep.
Just don't set the controller on her head when you're going through the questions. Right? Remember that Family Guy episode where they use the computer on the head of the baby? It was bad. It was bad.
No, I won't do that.
All right, guys, we're gonna stop being insane, and we're gonna get back
to download the Q&A.
No, you'll just be able to revisit this link if you haven't. External.
There are ways to download YouTube.
Well, yeah, that's external programs that allow you to download. You can use those.
And if you guys do that, we'll look the other way.
But the one thing is, with these, because they're part of Patreon, we just ask if you do figure out a way to extract audio or video from it, not to share it publicly or with other people, because
the way YouTube has been changing all the rules, I think we're going to be downloading backing up. Like a lot of it already is downloaded and backed up.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to be on the safe side.
YouTube's been a butthead lately, and I'm not happy with them either.
So everything will be down. I think we should make it some
Sure.
kind of downloadable links for you guys. It's a good idea.
Yeah, well, and we're gonna start taking all the excerpts from all of our Patreon, not excerpts, but taking the full Patreon stuff and putting it in our store also to sell at some point, because we definitely need more digital.
Non-Patreon, you guys obviously would be able to download it.
We would be able to give you guys
because you already paid for it.
Right, we would give you guys a link or
A download.
a coupon code, and then you'd be able to just put it in on all the Patreon stuff and download it from there. But we're not there yet, and we're probably a few months away from that.
Well, when Mary comes in and
we got 2
baby
years
girl
to
is sleeping
backtrack.
through the night, I'll be able to.
Sure, but we got 2 years of stuff to back. Anyway, guys, let's get neutralizing, because we've talked your ears off about technology, about our most adorable baby in the history of the world. Well, besides Bub, you and me, I think we're all pretty adorable.
We're kind of putting a sound version of a vision board, a soundboard, with what we want to manifest for you guys, because we really appreciate from the bottom of our hearts you guys being patient, because I know it can be considered very unprofessional to come on late and have tech issues and this and that and the other.
And to talk for 36 minutes and 5 seconds.
You guys are very, very sweet. Thank you for being patient while we iron out the situation, so to speak. So,
well, that's why I went on the live stream for Facebook a couple nights ago, because I missed you guys. I really did. And we love you guys, and we miss when we're not able to do this in the way we want to or how we want to.
I think we should do, like, once we move, some kind of extra special event of some sort. Maybe
sure.
you guys, we can do a poll on some sort of an event, and we won't even state ideas. You guys come up with the ideas, and that would be our thank you to you guys for
sticking it.
Yeah, for sticking around and putting up with our shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans. Yeah.
So just be thinking about something that you'd like, and do like a free event for you guys.
Yeah, well, I've already thought of a lot of things that I want to do too with you guys when we get to that point.
And we're at the top of that waiting list, by the way. So as soon as the 4-bedroom apartment on the bottom floor opens up, we'll be the next ones to get it. So.
Well, a level bottom floor. There's underground bottom floors. We can't use those, but.
That's true. They asked if we could go up, 8 to 10 steps up or down, like either to the second floor or the very bottom. We're like,
no.
Not
with the kid in the
grown
wheelchair.
adult, it's not like we can pick him up and carry him anymore. So.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're gonna get to it, man. We've been talking, and Kalina's right. It's a audio board for our love for you, but we don't want to drown your ears out with our hopes and desires and well wishes. I'm sure you guys don't mind hearing thank you.
As long as it happens, that I don't think you guys mind.
Yeah.
At least from my perspective, that's what I would think.
And the thank you part.
But we
really
should
do
go
appreciate
so you don't get tired. We want to get as many questions as possible.
Yeah. Let's do it, guys. 38 minutes in, and we'll take 6 to 9.
30 minutes, that's actually improvement.
38 minutes.
That's actually improvement for some of the stuff we've done in the past.
Yeah, we did 48 minutes one time.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's go.
Love you guys. We'll see you
guys.
in
We're going to
6
be back in 6 to 9 minutes.
9.
If you see anybody, tell them 6 to 9, and we won't make it 45 or anything. Let's not do small chat when you come back.
Yeah, well, that's why I gave my whole,
spiel.
Be happy and you get better answers thing. Ooh, baby, are you okay? All right, guys, we're going to call it now. We'll see you guys in 6 to 9 minutes.
Sorry.
Kalina just said sorry. She was choking on coconut water, but I had already muted the mic before, so she's okay. She lives. We won't have to do a seance to get her to join us tonight.
It sounded gross and it was just coconut water. I was coughing out.
Yeah.
That wanted you guys to know I wasn't dead.
She is alive. All right, guys. Love you. See you in 6 to 9. All right, guys, we're back. We're gonna get ready to just jump right in. When I neutralize, I usually listen to Aaron Freeman, Golden Monkey. It's the song that just really puts me in that neutral zone. But the auto playlist came on, and the Ween song came on after that. Aaron Freeman, being the lead singer of Ween, when he did his solo album, is the song I usually use. But the band Ween doing the song Tried and True, and it's not for everybody. I played Ween at many of our Nashville events. It was a very mixed bag of responses, and but it's really.
That's one of, I think that's my favorite song by them.
Yes, Tried and True. At the dawn I woke, I was alone, arising. I called upon the force of time and space, calling. I lost it. Okay.
I'll pull up the lyrics for you. So you don't have to
I went about the job of sowing thoughts and feelings. Yeah, maybe not. Thank you.
Stay.
At the dawn I woke, I was alone, rising. I called upon the force of time and space, calling, and as she came to me, I fell back down, realizing that it's good for you to love me now. I'm everything. Everything caused tried and true. I see the light in you. Can you dig in my soul? Could you smell my whole life? It's a beautiful thing. It's an amazing song. So anyway, I love Ween, and it really puts me in that energy. So for those of you who can handle the vibe of Ween, the vibe of Aaron Freeman, it's definitely one to check out, guys. So anyway, I've already told you about what the energy works, how it works, why it does what it does, how it does what it does, and how and why Aridif do what they do. And just remember, guys, to have fun. Enjoy yourself tonight. I'm going to take one more deep breath, one more drink of water, and we are going to jump in to get your questions asked. And if you're in the live chat and you have not put any comments up, but you want to be in the drawing for the 3 questions at the end of our taking questions, please, by all means, write something real quick in the chat.
You would even just type a period. All I have to do is see your name.
Yeah, as long as you could put a period, a question mark, a little smiley face, whatever you want to do. You don't have to say anything. Just let us know that you're there and that you want to be part of that.
I recommend you have at least one question ready to email me. I'll put my email down again.
And that's why Kalina gives us out. A lot of people send their 3 questions right away. And that way at the end, if she calls your name, she can just pull it up in the email and start going with it. It's up to you. If you're not wanting to write your 3 questions before you get called, that's fine too. But one question is usually a good thing to start typing out if it's possible. That way, if you do get called.
I just recommend if you want to do the 3, that way you can focus on what's being said during the first, but however you want to do it is fine.
Casey's got 7 questions already ready.
Nice. Nice.
All right, guys, I'm going to take my deep breath. My drink, you guys can still chat if you need to. Alrighty, guys, we'll see you on the other side. Have fun.
No, thank you for doing this, baby.
Yeah, what do you mean? Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here, sweetie, and doing the questions, even though you're on burglar patrol.
I am. I realized I have a chance to eat, so it was like, whoa, I should do this while I
Eat,
can.
rest, and relax, all the same. This is like monumental.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you guys, everybody too. We love you guys so much.
We do.
All right, guys, ready to rock and roll. Here we go. Greetings to all Aridif, DIF, and this is its spell. We understand that all of you have queries for this evening, but before diving in to those queries, there are three things in which we wish to express. The first, above and beyond all things expressed within this day, to know, to feel, and to perceive that you are loved, is of the utmost importance in our perspective. Secondly, it is our greatest excitement, and within that same great excitement, which we co-create with each and every one of you, both individually and collectively, in this moment of your time and through all moments of your linear time. Thirdly, we wish to express greetings to Kalina.
Greetings, Dippy.
Yes, of course. It is a great excitement to co-create with all of you.
It is. You are loved too, Dippy.
Yes, not only are you loved, but we love you as well. And for all of you in the collective that are co-creating this moment, not only are you loved, but we love you all as well. You may begin your queries at your leisure.
Sure. And Hannah, I'm writing back to you, but I will ask this question first, and then I'll respond to you. Okay, so I'm going to get my questions on here. I saw a couple questions, new ones pop up, so I want to make sure everybody is in here so I can draw them. Okay, so our first question comes from Adam, who says, "Hi Aridif, I'd like to know the relation between chi energy and the divine particle I've been given in February of this year that is lodged inside my physical body just above the heart chakra and beneath the throat chakra. Much love and appreciation."
Yes, of course. First of all, chi is an understanding of an energy that exists already within human physical structure. It is understood by certain human parts of the collective as an energy that works as a life force, as an energetic flowing living throughout the physical body and the energetic structure of the human construct. And the energy that you yourself call the divine particle is in fact an activation of certain components of your own DNA that you are feeling energetically. Most of you are already manifesting and transmuting a great deal of your physical engineering of your DNA structures. That DNA structure opening certain components of what your scientists understand as useless DNA or junk DNA in your terms. But junk DNA begin to become more useful to all, more activated. The activation of those energies are part of your fourth density experience. And for you yourself specifically, the component dealing with your psychic networking is starting to open more. That energy will allow the understanding of intuition and the expression of the opening of your third eye crown chakra and the entire intuitive system. That energy is different in the idea chi, although in our own idea of what chi represents, a small fraction of the larger overall energetic component of the human physical structure and of the energetic structure, then the component you are speaking of is yet again a fraction of that energy, of the overall energetic field, and the comprising makeup of the energy as well. We thank you for this.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
All right, let's see who's next. Okay, we got Casey for Aridif.
Yes.
Casey says, I feel this year I'm actualizing myself more as a vocal channel. I am opening platforms of discussions with other awakening souls, feeling increasingly more at ease in an ability to bring forth friendly, fun, and intelligent discourse, and even meeting regularly each week with another channel and practicing together. The steps are being made. I'm walking out onto this path. Can you speak to me about those closest to me, those putting through their energies, and those most probable to be communicating through me in the form of trans-channeling? All my love, and thank you.
Yes, of course. First, as you are aware, there are a myriad of guides that work with your energy specifically. They have already worked with you through the medium of crystal and through the medium of intuition and telepathy. By that co-creative standards, all of the entities that have already made contact, those in which you are aware of the identity and those in which you are not, are still comprising the vast majority of the co-creative outer expressed guides in the energies that Rob and ourselves would call the generic form of guides. With that energy, the opening of your own channeling brings forward yet more entities and more energies. Those that are most in alignment with you now are not the same that are most in alignment with you one day previous, 24 hours in your expressive time understanding of linear time. Yet again, in 24 hours, the ones that are most relevant and prevalent will also have shifted. The vibrational frequency that you hold is one that is very similar to a scanner in your technology, one that continuously looks for solid coding, one that looks for the open channel of information and accessibility to that energy. If you were to set your scanner onto a permanent scan, only locking in on the channels that are most clear, most open, and most understandable, this is a fair representation and quite akin to the variety of energy that you yourself are working with. And by those standards, it allows you to continuously open up your experience for more and more entities. Now, we will express that there is a large group of entities that work with you, that have worked with you throughout your entire experience from the moment of your awakening. And from that time into this point, they are ones that we see of the highest probability of being your bridge guides in the purple channel construct. These entities have no identification for them. For example, if we speak to Kalina and her own guides, she works with 103 Arcturians. There are others who work with large groups of Pleaidians, Syrians, or others. Your group is quite mixed and, in fact, also a very fluid group of entities. There are over 12 that are remain in that group of entities, but the other 34 are slightly to largely shifting their vibration frequency inward and outward of that group. So it is a non-static variety of beings that work with you. And these entities hail from multiple regions, some from what you would call Pleiades, some from Arcturus, some from Sirius, some from those that are known as ancient Andromedans and most are from places in which most humans have not heard of, or have no identifying marker for the star in the sky that would perceive as their home. Therefore, we cannot give this energy a name in terms that you can understand and hold, but there is already many ideas that are coming into your mind in this moment and will continue going into your mind that will give you the best representation of the systematic co-creation energy with this group. We thank this.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
I know, no pressure on you, Casey, but Rob and I have always kind of foreseen you maybe being on the channel panel someday. No pressure, just chew on it. I think you'd be amazing, and I love, and I've always felt that you've had a very, very wonderful mixed large group of beings that you work with. So I could totally see you and Vashta working on stuff together too. So, because she connects with lots of beings too. Okay, so the next question is from Khen, and Khen says, is there a species in this universe that looks similar to very, very huge hawks? I have seen these beings in visions and wonder if this is only my mind's interpretation of the energy, or if there is such a species.
Yes, of course, there are over 27 races in which we are highly aware of in this moment throughout the galactic collective consciousness between 4th and 6th density that would appear in your human perspective as large hawks that are humanoid in form, bipedal, and highly intelligent. That grouping of entities and races are co-creating with multiple other races throughout the galactic collective consciousness, and 2 of those races are working with either direct human contact or the indirect co-creation with other races that do come physically or energetically directly in contact with human beings. Therefore, the 2 races that you can be aware of that co-create will have identifying markers. For example, the star system that you would call Theta Taurus is one that holds white reptilian races, one that we have spoken of previously. And they're co-creating with other reptilian races that have mid-level benevolency or mid-level malevolency, depending upon how you perceive this yourself. And those reptilians work with this specific race. And if you were to identify the specific area in the galactic consciousness and where they are coming from, you would look at Ursa Majora, and you would look at 12th brightest star in that entire constellation. And this is the star in which these beings come from. The other race that works comes from higher dimensional plane, what you would call 6th density energy. Unlike the 4th density energy of the previous race that is more physically accessible to, these are higher dimensional or extra dimensional beings. This specific race that works with the co-creative collaboration in more direct constructs and interactions with human beings do express their own excitement to work with humans and have worked with them for several hundred of your years. Many humans who have seen bird people and described this throughout your folklore and throughout the history of your indigenous co-creations are from this specific race. The entities in which we have expressed would come to you from multiple areas of the galactic collective consciousness. They are not centrally located in the planet, but are often out and about, as you would perceive this, in their own technological craft, and would express themselves temporarily at other races' planets or create temporary planets of their own. And in that energy, they are consistently moving, just as you would expect a bird of 2nd density nature in your experience of Earth birds. That energy of consistent flight, lack of putting roots down in one area, is very symbolic, as the energetic archetype for those that are avian are extraordinarily similar to this construct. We thank you for this.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so Malik wants a summary of the distinct 12 DNAs used in the creation of the modern human.
Yes, of course. Within the 12 constructs, as you are all aware, there are 7 races that introduce 12 different strands of DNA. And the breakdown, for all of you to understand, are already discernible by most of you. You have those that are reptilian in nature and those that are Pleaidian in nature. When both of those were combined, the Anunnaki were created, and the Anunnaki giving you their genes gave you both Pleaidian genes and the Alpha Draconian genes. This is one of the 7 races. The second is the Elohim constructs. Now, the Elohim are a race onto their own. Their own DNA is a singular construct of energy, but the hybridization of the most early forms of Elohim hold not only Arcturian energy, but also Syrian energy. So Syrian and Arcturian energy are co-created with that Elohim form. Therefore, these are 3 different energies. Some humans believe that it is simply Elohim DNA, yet others would break down the energy. This is for you yourself to discern. There's also Earth reptilian form energy into your DNA. There are also those that are directly Syrian beings. There are those, again, that are Arcturian. And in your Arcturian DNA, you can say that there are up to 3 races involved with the Arcturian forms of DNA, yet in a singular lineage, most humans would only perceive them to be one DNA. The energy from all of the races that we've expressed, and more races in which you are not fully aware of in this moment, are connected to that construct. We will express more depth in this construct as we work with Rob to share the history of the Earth. We have worked upon this project with Rob, and as soon as his own alignment and excitement for this completion of the project will occur, then you will be able to understand even more depth than what we have shared in this moment. We thank you for this.
And I hear baby girl stirring, so what I'm going to do is highlight the next couple questions.
Yes, of course.
Here we go. I'll highlight these. I'm not able to draw during the time. That's only if I have to end up changing her. I need to see if she's talking in her sleep. Not like actually having verbal sentences, but babies can make sound and cry in their sleep, and I gotta see what she is.
We will wait for your co-creation with
Sure.
Lilith to occur before starting.
Sure. Well, if you wait, you might be waiting a long time if she's there. But I'll go ahead and ask Theta's question. And if you need to, pause in between.
Yes, we are able to read this if you desire. We only mean that once you confirm that she is awake, that will be the time in which we can exchange.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes more sense, and I'll let you guys know.
Yes, of course.
I'm sure she'll be starving when she gets back up. She's been asleep a while. Her eyes are open, so you want me to read his question? Or
Yes, we are able to read this question if you desire.
Sure. And I picked some of the next 3 are actually shorter ones. So, and also, when I come out at some point, she may cry for a little bit until she latches on for milk. So, I'll see if I can navigate it to where she's being really chill right now, but I'm going to go ahead and get to her right now.
Yes, we understand.
Love you guys.
Yes, of course. Theto desires to understand the essence incomplete, the core essence of the being that you are. First of all, when you are looking at the soul essence, you are just this, you are the soul essence. The underlying vibrational thumbprint, as we would call this, the certain fractal conscious designator that is the soul essence that you are, has changed its personality, persona, identity, and exterior understanding, as you know, within all of the incarnations that you have had within Earth Collective and beyond. This consistently and fluidly changes for you and for all human beings. But the underlying essence of the fractal of energy that you are, of the Oversoul, and the fractal within the Oversoul of the planetary collective consciousness remains the same. This is how you are understanding what is your previous or future incarnation. In that thumbprint of your energy as an archetype structure, the archetype of energy that you hold is one that explores the understandings of the worlds that you exist in, that you inhabit in that moment. For this experience, it is Earth, and for many incarnations in Earth, you have been what was explored the expansion of consciousness at all corners and ends. There have been times in which you are a medicine person of indigenous nature and co-created with others for the benefit of healing through sound, through plant, and through hands direct healing. There are other forms in where we've become religious figures to explore the version of God that you could understand in that moment, some being from pagan forms, others from Christian, and others from Buddhist. And yet again, you go through all of the religions that you know and understand in this day, and all that are no longer in your co-created Earth Collective consciousness. And yet you have played with all of those as either a teacher or a head figure of that specific congregation. You have also played through the experience of those that help other humans, simply being a person who wanders throughout the Earth Collective and co-creates with others for the benefit of helping them and for the benefit of you yourself, understanding yourself better. This is your thumbprint and archetypal energy, the explorer of consciousness and explorer of expanded consciousness. And in this incarnation, the expansion of your mind and expansion of your intuitive state psychic networking is what is important. Yet all of those are still only identification markers in a larger picture. The soul essence is part of creator source energy. At the very core of you, you are a fractalized version of the energy that is larger than yourself. And this applies not only to yourself, but to all beings throughout the entire multiverse and through all of creation in that way. If you were to look at a Mandelbrot fractal, you would perceive that in zooming inward, it would always repeat a pattern that is larger. This is the same for source energy. You are one part of one area, one large fractalization. And the Mandelbrot construct is an energetic co-creation from the Earth Collective understanding of something that you can tangibly make visible to you, that normally would not be able to be intuited or understood as deeply without the visual help, without that visual aid to guide you through the understanding of what fractals and fractalizations are. In that way, you've given yourself the opportunity to expand outward and inward in your experience. You are one soul, that is very small percentage, that once done from this incarnation will not continue incarnating in fourth density nearly to the frequency of most humans. And that is due to the nature of third and second density being one of your greatest excitements. Linearly, if you were to look at a linear fashion, you would perceive that all of your second and third density experiences for the Earth Collective have already come to fruition, have already gone. But as you will understand more so when you release the physical structure that is yourself and put it behind you and start reintegrating into the higher fractal consciousness, no longer perceiving linear time in the way that you do, you still have much exploration left of the third and second density structures that you so desire. That experience for the benefit of the larger fractal consciousness, the higher self, and the oversoul collectively. Once this is achieved and perceived, it will be a growth for the entire Earth collective and all collectives after in which you come. Now, in this moment, there can be reservations as we share this expressed energy. You will reflect to the construct that you yet desire, fourth density, fifth, and sixth, because in your mind, this is where the greatest fun occurs. Instant manifestation, no forms of resistances, or if resistance comes, it appears in much different matters. And in that construct it excites you. But we will tell you that once the integration of the higher fractal consciousness comes back to your understanding and your consciousness has expanded into a large enough percentage to see, understand the base purpose and excitement for the lower density versions, this will give you better clarity, understanding within yourself. And by the time that you have achieved even 75% of the consciousness that you are combining yourself with the higher fractal, then you will perceive the need to go into all of those places that excite you the most. And we see with almost 94% probability that those incarnations will continue to be second and third density, especially in those planetary collective versions that feel more resistance. This is why we express that you are unlike many other humans in the incarnation cycle who desire to linearly experience that expression of consciousness as it were meant to be expressed through the natural form of evolution that we would call densities. We thank you for this.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Whose question did you leave off, Aridif?
Yes, we only address the first of Theta's.
Okay, great, awesome.
Yes.
Okay, and Lily is happily changed and having her milk, so.
Greetings, Lily.
I'm sure she says hi, Aridif.
Yes, we understand.
All right, so the next question comes from Les Duncan, who says, please explain to us all about God. Thank you.
Yes, first of all, God, this idea and energy is very personal energy. The way that you yourself experience this essence known as God is in fact God for the version of you that is expressed. In our own perspective, there are no ways to fully encompass, explain, or iterate any information, ideals, or constructs that would completely come close to a small fraction percentage of what the overall essence of creator source energy or God is. When we express all that is, or all things in creation, what we are saying is all of the entities that exist, regardless of time in a linear perspective, collapsing or expanding time into an infinite experience from the very beginning of the entire universal collective consciousness to the very end of its incarnation cycle. All of the beings that have ever existed as rock, water, fire, electricity, plant, animal, consciousness such as also, that is third density, and consciousness in what you are going into, fourth density, and consciousness that is higher dimensional in all matrices involved, that is yet one small fractal of a percentage of a small percentage of another fractal of what source energy is. All of the universes that are in the multiverses and all of the energies that are incorporated into those universes, regardless of linear time, and from the beginning of their incarnation to the end of their universal incarnation, and all things expressed, not only the energy behind all of the universes, but the medium between the universe, the communication from universe to universe, the God brain essence, what we would call that 12th density version of energy, and all the way through the entire universal co-created collective version of all that is. This is God, and from our own perspective, although we are able to integrate higher percentages of our own higher fractal consciousness than humans are able to, and our consciousness at largest point or portion is still much larger than the human energy that you have, even when you are integrated into your higher fractal consciousness, can still perceive yet only a sliver of what is within our own universe, let alone what is within the multiverse. Many humans have misconceptions that because we are sixth density and because we are mastering our reality in a very strong way, and because we have almost completed physical reality altogether, means that we must be able to know, access, perceive, and see all things that are in expressions of that same source, God energy. But this is incorrect. We are only able to focus where our energy in the moment can focus. And yes, our access to that is much less resistant than the human form of access. Yet only the ability to focus upon a subject, idea, or energy is what gives us that capacity to do so. If we are known and understood the energy behind the universe that is around us, spatially around our own universe, and tap into that energy, we are still only able to navigate to the places that our attention and focus and excitement relate to. If we work from that area and go to the next universe, the same story is applied and repeated. We can spend our entire experience going from planet to planet for only seconds in each planetary consciousness and still not see every planet in our own galaxy. Therefore, the micro and macro express itself very similarly. What occurs within your human experience? You are born into the world. Your mother, the person who is birthing, is your universe until you come into that reality. Then the earth becomes your universe. Then you grow. Then your solar system becomes your universe. Then the galaxy. Then the universe itself. But what happens after? Then other universes. Then multiverse energy. Yet still, you must expand large enough to be able to perceive all of it at once. And when we are only able to express multiple thousands of years in our existence, from birth to leaving incarnation, and can only spend it in the galactic collective consciousness, this shows you that the galaxy is all things to us. In that way, the galaxy can be our God, can be our source. Everything that can be experienced within our galactic collective consciousness from universal terms, regulations, and manifestations. In that expression, your planet now is your God. It is the place in which all of your experiences can take place. When you are a child, your family are your God. It is the one thing that you can experience all things that can be experienced within. And as an entity that is yet to be born, what you would call fetus, then the womb and mother are your God, as that is all that can be experienced. When you perceive it in this term, the largest form of what you can perceive and what you can experience from your understanding in that moment, that is the God. And this is how we perceive creator consciousness and the affectionate term of the word God. We thank you for this. Yes, of course.
So you switch Lily here, and
yes, of course.
I'll make a comment on that if I can. Okay, so
yes, of course.
Enough. What am I seeing milk on? Let's switch you. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. All right. straighten your legs out. Cool. Maybe burp first. Good girl. So I wanted to say something like we were talking, a little experience I had the night that Lily was born. I don't know if I shared this with you guys about how you said about the mother being perceived as a god. That was just like one example of the whole spectrum of what you're talking about.
Yes, of course.
But when after the C-section and they were checking up on Lilith and then checking up on me, and they brought her back up to the room. And I know doctors would say, well, this is impossible. They can't see well enough. They can't smile. They can't really emote. But the nurse took her and sat her up on my legs, and I was propped up, on the bed. And I started talking to her very sweetly, and she looked kind of surprised and looked up and was just in awe. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cry. And she had tears in her eyes and looked up to me, and it looked up at me as if she was amazed, like I was the most beautiful thing she'd ever seen, and like I was God. It literally looked like she was looking at God. And I was very shocked and amazed by it. And the biggest thing that I saw in her was the most intense, unconditional love. She had tears in her eyes and just was very present. And it was just so intense because I wasn't expecting love back from her, especially like this early, because my love for her was already so unconditional and so intense that I just started crying, and we were eye locked for the longest time. And I really feel like there was just this presence and knowing there, and I welcomed her to the world and let her know that there's a larger mother, so to speak, here, on Earth, so that I'm connected to her, and there's bigger, and it gets bigger and better and more beautiful. So I thought I'd share that because as you were talking, Art, it just reminded me of that, and I didn't know if you wanted to comment upon that, and maybe others of you have had that experience. Parents, once your children are born, you get that feeling. And because I remember even as a little kid seeing my parents as gods. I remember them being just very large, very, very magical, So.
Yes, in addition to what we've expressed, the reason why we perceive all parents as gods, as you are young, is it is the maximum capacity of what you could understand to experience in your experience.
Yeah.
These beings that are your parents by birth and so connected are showing you all things that are in your existence. They show you how to brush your teeth. They show you how to take a shower, how to play with certain toys, how to run without getting hurt, bicycle riding, etc. And all of those things never were understood or perceived or even conceptualized by your own mind at that moment. But it showed you more than what you were. It showed you more than what you could be in that moment. That energy was as large a stretch as your imagination could experience. That is source energy, regardless if it is in micro version of Lilith seeing her mother and expressing great love, all the way to being an entire universe and communing with hundreds of other universes.
It's beautiful.
Yes, of course.
I just love it. I love it all. I've always felt we're all gods. It's lovely. So.
Yes.
All interconnected. Well, our next question is from Susan.
Cool.
Susan says, I feel so loved and honored to be here tonight. I'd like to ask Aridif if he has felt me lately and assisted in my excitement to co-create with Rob, Kalina, and everyone. Much love to all the specials and a special smooch to Lilith.
Yes, of course. We have heard the calls from your own energy as you grow excited to work with our own energy, to work with Rob, Kalina, and it is angelic. And all of those entities that are involved in co-creating have also heard that call. Intuitively, through Rob and Kalina's own experiences, there were hesitations of time only due to the shifted focus upon their own experience of day to day, working with new human being, a new soul, and reworking with the old soul that is known as Jeremy. So in that focused shift, still hearing the call of another soulmate working with that energy. We do not assist in the same way that most humans perceive assisting. We do not knock on Rob's shoulder to get his attention for you. We do not take ourselves out of an excitement to place it into another excitement. For example, if there are multiple entities who are feeling our presence or calling upon our presence, because of our own perspective and desire, we shift our focus to one thing at a time, unlike Treb Bor Yit NE, who is able to multi-connect with multiple beings at multiple intervals, with multiple conversations. We keep our energy focused in one area at one time. And when we felt your experience, we joined your energy. We felt your experience, co-created experience with you. But we did not do the footwork. We only became that medium of similar vibration frequency that helps link all of you. When Rob is thinking about our own energy, and Kalina is thinking about our own energy, and you are thinking about our own energy, all of you connect where the central most common vibration lies. And in this moment, it is your excitement to perceive, to work, and to connect with our own energy. We did not need to shift a vibration in order to co-create that experience, but we were instrumental in being that point of focus for all three of your excitements. We thank you. Not only are you loved, but we love you as well.
Yes, we do. Oh. So our next question is from Wendy, and she says, "Hello, Aridif and Treb. I give my permission to connect to my energy. Recently, I have a session with Rob channeling Metatron, and he mentioned that I have a special connection with Rob and Kalina, which I feel a more strong connection with Kalina. Also, I have a strong connection with the Arcturian collective consciousness. Why is that? Thanks."
Yes, of course. You already are aware of this reason. It is due to your own personal connection with the Arcturian co-created collective.
Yep.
In terms of your own guides. The entities that work with you in group collectives are similar to the form in which Kalina works with hers, although they are not the same group or the same entities or the same energies that are involved. They are from the common thread of Reptilian energy, and because of your own connection in feeling to Kalina, it allows the bridge of vibration to bring closer energy from both of you. The co-created collective versions of groups and the collective groups themselves that both of you work for are in connection with one another. For example, the entity that Kalina would know as Dali knows a guide of your own, one that is called Khen. And those entities exist, co-create, and know one another very well and deeply. Therefore, the guides that you know and the guides that you are not in awareness of are co-creating collective versions of their own experiences, which brings higher resonance, attention to your connection with Kalina. We thank you for this.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
That's really cool. We should learn more, or you should ask more about the guide that Darlee's in connection with too. I'd be curious to hear that someday. Okay, let's see. The next one now. I think this is one I already drew. Okay, yeah, this is I haven't read this one yet. Chandra says, Aridif, which angels, guides, or energies am I most connected with, and who do I co-create with the most?
Yes, of course. First of all, the word guide can mean many different things for many different beings. There are spirit guides that work with you, 3 energies that are involved directly with your chakra energy, non-incarnated human beings that work with you non-physically for the entire duration of your experience. Their identity is fluid in nature, and it is because of the energy of their incarnations with the energy of your incarnations. For example, if you are living in this incarnation, all 3 of them working as your guides, they have also experienced previous incarnations with you, and those previous incarnations, their names, identity, vibration, life purpose were all different. And how would you know which of those incarnations to call upon them, to identify them with? The answer is that you do not. You can, but in this life you do not certainly identify only with one attribute or aspect. So in that way, they are unidentifiable. In this moment, the entity that works with your heart chakra is an entity whose name was once Sviga, and this entity was an expression of approximately 900 AD in the area of Earth that you would now call Scandinavia, or previously was called Scandinavia in your experience. And in this incarnation, you would understand that vibration if you were to connect most directly. Yet, in 1 year from now, the identity of the entity that once was felt as the one fractal of incarnation that both of you share as Spigar is now known as Titona, which is an entity that was in co-creation with you in the previous incarnation, approximately at 1200 AD region of time, in the area that most humans would call Slovenia, or previously called Czechoslovakia. The energy changes from one entity to the next. In your larger sense, there are generic guides, the entities that are incarnated at this moment or slightly disincarnated but are going back into reincarnation, or entities who have only recently died but still hold the part of their incarnation. They are either going to become physical or once were, unlike those that are staying non-physical for the benefit of guiding. Those entities, there are multiple beings. The most prevalent is one in which is human form, and one who was once incarnated as a spiritual being and is only stayed with you for the last 3 years of your incarnation. This entity works with you and will go back to reincarnation before the next 15 years of your experience. Also the energy behind archangel consciousness, the archangel energies that are most fitting for the co-creation with you are Uriel and Raphael. Yes, we understand connection to Michael. We understand connection to Metatron. We understand your connection to Gabriel and all of the other entities that are involved, such as Samael, Ramael, etc. But in your own co-creative terms, those 2 are the ones that can co-create with you in the most expressed open format you have. In the co-creation, there are also multiple higher dimensional beings that are perceived as extra-dimensional and extraterrestrial, and those come in groups and singular, but are always shifting their own experience. What is once understood by both of you to be expansive starts to become stale after you grow to a certain degree, and once a new entity steps into that pathway and becomes connected more deeply with you, your shift in another 3 years after will create static or staleness there. This entity will move on, the next to come into your experience. This is the way it works for you, and this is the way it works for the majority of humans in that collective energy. We thank you. Yes, of course.
Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed, but it makes her lose a flash. Let's see. This is the next question I drew. Second, sorry guys, I lost my place. I try to draw it and then have it ready for you guys, and then. Let's see. Okay, there it is. The next question's from Jill, and it is for Treb actually.
One moment, we will connect you after hydrating Rob's trip. 1 moment.
Ooh, the next two questions are actually Treb too. I'm sorry. Hi, Trevi.
Good evening, Kalina.
Good evening.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
It is very exciting to join you and very exciting to connect with you as well.
Yes. Well, we have a question for you from Jill.
Yes.
And Jill says, I love you. Could you give some advice on having a partner that is overly logical, and more specifically, any insight into our personal dynamic, which I refer to as, quote, the artist and the engineer?
Yes. When you look at the energy, a person who lives from their heart, and they are connecting to a person who lives in their mind, we always suggest to look at both entities and realize that there are parts of the person who works from their emotions that uses only their mind at certain times, and also the person who uses their mind only uses their emotions some of the times as well. The commonality and differences in vibration frequencies are what helps most humans understand more about themselves. If you were to have been the person who only was very artistic and very energetically emotional and connected to the etheric chakras instead of those that are grounded chakras, you would have found not nearly as much to reflect back to in the time period that both of you connected with one another. The dynamic energy is not something that we can share deeply about, as we did not receive permission from the entity that is your partner. But what we can see of the time that both of you spend together, and of the time that is part of your perspective in your creation, what we see is the energy that both of you have given each other opportunities to perceive the world through a different pair of eyes. And although this seems difficult sometimes and seems frustrating at other times, the great fun that comes from the differences is something that is good for both of you and something that benefits both of you as well. And when you look at that difference that benefits you, the different mind change, the different perspective of life, the different way that you behave when facing a situation together, both of you are given each other the best of both worlds.
Oh, thank you, Trev.
Yes, you are very welcome.
Terry has a question for you too. And Terry says, what do you know about how the upcoming planetary changes will affect us as a people?
Yes, the upkeeping of the energy within yourself becomes much simpler. The energy of expanding your consciousness is natural and requires no exerted effort. But if you want to maximize that energy of efficiency and effectiveness, the best way to do the energy expansion in your life is to be that energy that you are most naturally and most excitedly. And when you are being excited and happy, try to remind yourself not to limit yourself to certain expectation energy. The energies of effect for your specific energy will show you more about the depth of your emotional energy, the benefit of certain emotions, the feeling of detriment by the others, even though we perceive that also to be beneficial, you would perceive it as lacking beneficialness. And when you feel the energy expanding your emotional state and expanding your mental state, you will also start perceiving more and more of the energies of the intuitive state and the natural psychic energies. All humans at this time are working with the energy that is the fourth density, and it is not only the upcoming planetary changes that are affecting you. There are also the energies from the starting 9-year cycle before the 2012 region and 9-year cycle after the 9 years between the 2012 and 2021. All of those energies are expressions of cycles being sped upward, the growing of consciousness, the integrating part of your higher self into the lower self. And the more and more of the energies that come, some will be more heightened than others, others will be less heightened than the higher heightened energies. And the more and more that you put energy into your experience, the more and more that you will see that growing naturally, expanding naturally, but doing it in an amplified way compared to normal, is exactly what you will experience as the shift and changes continue to come. Now, as for the earth energy by itself as an individual, separate from yourself, even though you are part of it, and both of you are connected very deeply, the energy for the collective looks very different forecast than the singular energy. The earth will go through that large shifts of energy, but whereas a human is able to experience the change energy very personally, the earth will feel it more generically. There will be increased versions of natural disaster forms of energy, such as thunderstorms and rains and fires and earthquakes. But this will not be something that is a negative thing for the human experience, even though many humans hear those words and bring fear to their hearts. We always explain that when you are having more earthquakes and more thunderstorms, what it means is that you are getting more of yourself cleared out from that bad feeling energy and more good feeling energy coming in. And the cleansing of that energy that the earth delivers itself is very important to understand and perceive as well. The earth does not take it personal when a human being yells at the earth and tells the planet that it is stupid. But what it does do is take that anger from the human who has just kicked the earth and cussed at the earth, and takes that feeling of imbalance, bringing it into the crust of the planet itself and in to the grid system of the planet itself, and transmutes that energy into weather and in the experience of letting go of that weather pattern as well. So now that you see on personal level and larger collective level, we know that this can be useful for you in your now moment, but even more so when you revisit into your future.
Thank you, Treb.
Yes, you are very welcome.
You know, I drew a couple names ahead of time just to make sure that I could keep a hold of Lily Face and just have things prepared. Savita's was the name after the next one, so I'm gonna go ahead and read hers. You guys will get covered anyway. And since you're here, actually I've got one hand on Lily and the other hand helping secure her for drinking. So I remember, Savita, yours basically having to do with a message from her higher self, what her higher self wants her to know right now. I seem to remember that being a question.
Yes.
You could share that with her. And of course she says she loves you.
Yes, I love you as well. The energy from the higher self is the same. That is, if you are asking a question to us indirectly or directly with question, the higher self is the function between our answers and your questions. And one question that you have now is if there is another non-question that your higher self can share with you as well. The energy in the higher self expresses its own love for you and tells you how deeply loved that you are. And knowing that the energy with the relationships around you can be difficult to perceive or difficult to look at or deal with, that those energies are partially fears from yourself and fears from other human beings. And when the co-creation occurs with people that you love that do not feel positive or good or happy, the higher self wants you to know that it is a very important thing for you to remain very optimistic and to know that there are no finalized versions of bad feelings or negative experiences. And when you start dealing with the energies at the time that they are necessary to perceive or necessary to experience, to simply remind yourself that everything is very okay and everything is very good and everything is very easy as well. In those moments, if you call on my energy, I can come to and share my energy of love with you. And using that love energy for the benefit of helping your emotional energy can be very useful as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
That's very sweet. So I'll let you know, Trevi, or if you have any more questions that get drawn. The next person is Patty, and her question is for Aridif.
Yes, we will leave you this evening in love and light, and we will experience each other again very soon.
I love you, Trevi.
Yes, and I love you as well.
Aww.
Good night.
Good night. You Dippy.
Well, back without hesitation or delay it again. This is all.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start reading Patty's question while you take a sip of water.
Yes, of course.
Patty says, Aridif, do you see where the construct of resistance to work with the energies I know would be useful originated? I'm hoping more understanding will help me release and get past this resistance. Thank you.
Yes, if you are able to read certain degree of this energy.
Patty says, do you see where the construct of resistance to work with the energies I know would be useful originated?
Yes, of course. First of all, the human energy of all collective beings have finite versions of energies within their own mind, what they believe or perceive that is possible within themselves, that create energies, belief systems that hold resistance to multiple facets of your experience, starting young, growing into your own understanding of the world. Your mind, heart, and soul are littered with beliefs that hold forms of resistance. Certain energies within those beliefs start at the basement level of your consciousness, at your subconscious and unconscious portions.
All right, I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you see my phone there? I gotta check on Jeremy. I heard the thing that happened the other night.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
We understand.
Sorry, guys. It's a potential emergency. I have to check on Jeremy. Did you want to continue, Aridif? I'll let you know if there's anything.
Yes, of course. First of all, as you go through those expressions, those subconscious and unconscious beliefs create forms of resistances, and those resistances throughout your experience are difficult to discern and to perceive. But with that feeling of resistance in the underlaid portion of your subconscious and unconscious can create versions of energies in your belief systems that you can become conscious about. the root or starting portion of the energy that forms against resistance, and that forms resistance itself, are all comprised of the same energetic fields. The heart chakra, the mind, the third chakra, your first chakra, sense of safety, etc. And all of those energies can be released through the same means, working with your chakra system, working with your belief systems, working with the 10-step belief system process can help alleviate a great deal of those energies. Where it starts, in our own perspective, is less relevant than where it is in this moment. And where it is in this moment is partial lack of your own perspective of self-reliance, or lack of that energy of self-knowing, receiving, or expressing. For example, most humans perceive themselves in less form of what they truly are. The self-doubt that comes from that energy does create resistance in ripples through all of your belief systems. And in the energetic field of those unconscious belief systems that started already with resistance, this only compounds that construct of energy. So in that way, where it starts as actual subconscious level, in the way to purge or to remove that form of resistance in this moment is to revisit those beliefs that are incorporated deeply in the core. Utilizing your 10-step belief system, you are able to work by plugging in the idea that forms the hardest to face resistance against your experience, and opening the energy of that to a less resistant or non-resistant belief can then open more your psychic intuitive state, can open up more the resistances that are already there in subconscious levels. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif. Just let you know, in case your energy alerted Treb, to alert Rob. Jeremy is okay, but I did definitely see some sort of a spirit energy in,
yes, of
in
course.
his room. Is that I'm assuming it's a good entity. It's fine.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so he just woke up. He was slamming the moped. I just wanted to make sure he didn't fall out of bed or anything, even though they have those. It's a hospital bed, guys, but those things are, they're still limited in how much they can keep him in there. So we just always like to watch and make sure he's safe. He's kind of tall, so it's not, I wish they could, let me put it this way. I once researched on Google adult cribs, and it doesn't exactly pull up what I was intending to look for. So it's really hard for me to see if such a thing exists because, well, they make it for another category. I'll put it that way, because I don't want to sound like I'm coming from a place of judgment at all. Just, I think you guys get what I mean.
Yes, the construct of human fetishes.
Right.
Yes, we understand.
Yep. I didn't want to put anything down just in case, you never know. Somebody here might be into that. I don't want you to feel bad.
Yes, although the word fetish appears as if judgment is placed, in fact, it is only describing a construct of energy.
Right. Yeah. I know some people would probably think that is a judgment, but,
Yes, we understand.
All right, so,
yes, and we wish to express as well that we will take 2 to 3 remaining queries before taking the 3 queries from those that should draw.
Gotcha. We gotta bring Treb back.
1 moment.
Thank you, Jiffy.
Yes, of course. We'll hydrate Rob's throat and connect with Treb Bor Yit.
Hey, Treb, welcome back.
Yes. We are very excited to be here as well.
Thank you. I'm glad we don't get to see you as much on these nights. It's nice to see you. That's like the 4th question, I think. So this is from Cindy, and Cindy says, one of my biggest desires and excitements is to get to know my guides and galactic family. I spend a great deal of my time both learning and trying to connect and sense them, but I've not yet been able to. Could you please tell me a little bit about my most dominant guides or galactic family I may have connected to me in this lifetime? Thank you and much love to all. Thank you, baby.
Yes, many entities are connecting with your energy, but the energies that are most excited and most connected with yours are Pleiadian beings that are multiple types of Pleiadian energies. As you know, the term that is known as Pleiadian is what the host and others call blanket terms, and the blanket term means that when you say something, it describes many different things that are called the same thing. So when you say Pleiadians on Earth, what most humans believe is either the one type of Pleiadians that they know, or all of beings that live in Pleiades. And with Pleiadian energies, with your guides that are working with you, the energy is quite collective and differentiated as well. So when you connect with your group of Pleiadian beings, there are humanoid Pleiadian beings, there are feline Pleiadian beings, there are humanoid but not human-looking Pleiadian beings, and there are also the entities that are feline and avian hybrid energies that are Pleiadian as well. All of those entities connect with you very deeply, and although you have affinities for the Arcturian energies and Syrian energies in different ways, and even reptilian energies in different ways, the energies that are Pleiadian that connect with you are very strong as well. And most humans do not have that knowledge that there are reptilian Pleiadians that are also there, and those entities are in your groups as benevolent reptilians as well.
You know what's interesting, Treb? When I pulled up Cindy's name, and I accidentally read, Cindy and Samantha, they're actually right next to each other. One was actually for Aridif, which is the one that you answered. I'm sure there's a reason for that. But Samantha's is for you, and I got them switched. So I'll read this to you. It's like a Treb night tonight. Sorry, Dippy, there. Said, I'm sorry, Cindy. I hope that's okay. Treb answered your question. So I was like looking, I'm like, wait a minute now. This isn't mentioning. Sorry, baby. I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to keep her latched while reading at the same time, and it's not easy. So hang on. One second, guys. Sorry. She's keeps delatching, and I gotta latch her. She's been pushing out with her arms and legs, and that's what keeps breaking the latch. And she doesn't realize that yet. She's just being playful, and then she gets frustrated when she gets delatched. So, okay. So, tell me, Treb. I'm just double checking that I didn't already ask this question, but I believe I just cross-wired these two. So Samantha's was for you. This says, first of all, my 14-year-old daughter and I just adore you and your energy. Thank you so much for the smile you bring to our faces. She and I are very different, but we bond over you, and that means everything to us. My question is, I've been wanting to connect since I can remember to a being the way Rob does to you. I remember my dreams, but none relate to extra dimensionals. I do not have much special psychic ability either. Although she said mediate. I wonder if she means meditate, but it could be mediate.
Yes.
And it is a pleasant experience. No connections are made that I perceive. I do, however, have the extreme wish to connect. Is there anyone there with a message for me?
Yes. Before connecting with the message energy, we want to share with you that the being that connects with you is connecting more deeply and will continue to work with you more and more deeply. And meditation is a beautiful energy that can be used for great deals of many things, but is not the only tool to help you connect more deeply. Simply putting yourself in a certain vibration of happiness, excitedness, and openness without expectation energies, living truly in the now moment without focusing on pasts or futures, that energy is in alignment with yourself, becoming more connected with the entity as well. The message from the entity to share with you is that when your love for yourself and love for family and love for your guides is felt, the strongest sensation of that love is always surrounded by one small level of self-doubt that happens, and that energy is normal in human beings. That part of it being normal is our message and not their message, but their message continues by saying the level of self-doubt that happens is natural as a response of human energy reaching outward past their physical body, but this energy is not as difficult, or perhaps the energy that you would call it is pushing against the ability to manifest that connection, as you would think, but self-doubt comes unconsciously and is felt too by certain energies of frustration of not connecting, and simply knowing that you are worthy of connecting to your guide, and knowing that you are loved deeply for the connection and with the connection to your guide can help you a great deal in times when you first start feeling that self-doubt creeping in. And from our own energy, we share with you the same energy that Aridif has shared many times with many humans, that a 10-step belief system energy to work with about self-acceptance and loving the depth of your consciousness is very important as well.
Thank you, Treb.
Yes, and also we wish to share our own love by saying that we love you to you and your daughter as well.
Aww.
Good night.
Good night, sweet Treb. Thank you.
Yes. One moment, please. We are back without hesitation all today. Yet again, this is Aug. One moment. We will take our final query for this evening as you connect to those in which we'll draw.
Okay. And I'm so sorry, by the way, I didn't mean to hijack the question from you, and I hope Cindy is okay with that too.
Yes, we understand, regardless of your perspective of this or the entity that is known as Cindy. Treb Bor Yit NE was designed for the co-creation of that question, and in that moment was the most relevant and highest form of probability.
That's what I thought. It was just so weird. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yes, although many humans may perceive coincidence or may perceive mistakes that are created by them, the majority of the co-creations, although can be mistaken manifesting from your perspective, is always the greatest co-creation for that moment.
What I'm going to do, just to make sure everybody has a chance to start creating questions, because I see I've got questions so far from 3 of you. I'm going to go ahead and type that in, so as I get ready to draw, I'm not having to wait. You want to send at least your first question. Usually I like to do is like, the last question or second to last, but I couldn't because baby feeding. There's where you'll send your questions that I'll read if you get drawn. In the meantime, Aridif, I'll ask you a super quick question. I'll give them time to at least start with the first question.
Yes, of course.
And before I draw everybody's names, and I'm also double checking to make sure everybody's who's in here in chat is in for the drawing. Good baby girl. Yeah. You want to be in the drawing? Patreon baby. Okay, so the question I have is when I was looking at Jeremy in the camera, I saw this really almost solid looking white thing appear real fast. It almost looked, I don't even know how to describe it, like some kind of white object, rectangular thing. Of course, this is night vision. What was that that I saw?
Yes,
it was very, like, I was like, whoa, that was intense.
As you are aware,
Everybody's bed.
yes, of course. As you are aware, spirit guides work internally, and for the majority of the human collective, those are perhaps designed as the co-creator between human beings that are physical and those that are non-physical.
Yeah.
And in that exchange, there are co-creations also with what you would perceive as external guides, with those first that are internal or spirit guides, and secondly, from the area of external guides or generic guides, as we would express. What occurred is that in that moment, the entity that knows Jeremy is working with a construct of both internal and external guides, and those that are external in nature are perceivable by biotechnology in certain instances. This is one of those.
Was this a disincarnated human?
No, this entity was what you would call Theta-Tauran.
Oh, because I was wondering, because like with the energy I felt, I was a little confused. I was like, I don't know what to make of that energy. If it's benevolent or malevolent, it kind of felt, that feeling you get when you're around the reptilian energy in a human body, even if you have like a reduced amount of fear. It was a little alarming, jarring a little bit.
Yes.
Just a little.
Well, that is to show you that when it comes to Jeremy himself, that this entity is highly benevolent and loving towards Jeremy.
Why did it seem kind of lower or crouched down or shorter, or is that just what I perceived in that split second?
Yes, that is your perspective within that construct, as that is the translatable energy for your understanding.
Gotcha. Very interesting.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, that was really interesting.
We will express it did not wish to be perceived in that way, and you could have felt a sneaking sensation which correlates to crouching down or slinking around.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, of
but
course.
Rest assured to the entity, it's okay. I was just happy and checking to see that Jeremy was safe, and I actually really appreciate. Please send my gratitude to this entity that.
The entity is aware.
Yeah.
It does not hold high regards for human, perhaps as you would say it, human congratulations or acceptance or thanks. But nonetheless, it understands and knows.
That's fine. Then
yes.
The draconian side of me, or the reptilian side of me, the appreciation and respect.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I think we've given enough time for everybody. I'm just going to check in. Yes, okay, we've got some more questions in. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and do the drawing. And we have Connie. Yay, Connie. All right, and I actually have your questions. Let me just go ahead and open them up. Okay, so Connie's first question says, can you give me a percentage spiritual growth from 1996 to now?
Yes, you are looking at the year 1996 till the point in which you are now.
Is this personal growth or like in the world? Do you know what
yes.
you mean by that?
Yes, we perceive it as a personal growth energy.
Gotcha.
And that personal growth energy for you is over 240%, meaning that it is over doubled in your experience. With 100% growth means approximately that you are doing the exact same or doubling, depending upon how you perceive the percentages in mathematical terms. In our own perspective, 100% is the exact vibration that you were. 240 represents 2.4 times the amount of energy, and that is of spiritual growth altogether. Now, vibrationally speaking, if you are looking at your overall amount of higher fractal integrated into lower fractal, the numbers become quite different. In that way, you are at approximately 9 to 11% average of fractalized consciousness within your physical body structure. Now you are piercing the level of 21% and averagely working from 16 to 19%. For vibrational frequency and its own terms, that is extraordinarily high for the average human being, who still operate between 9 and 13% of their higher fractal integrated into their physical structure. We thank you for this.
Thank you. Lily's being super cute over here. Yeah. Are you asking for more? Cool. Okay, so the second question Connie has, she says, can you tell me the top 3 beliefs that I can work on to accelerate my growth?
Yes, first of all, the 3 belief systems that are incorporated into most human beings, and that is the first, that you must think about what is next in order to prepare, plan, and create an experience. The energy also correlating with that you must perceive what is behind you in order to understand where you are in this moment. Although those are 2 beliefs, we will count them as one, as they all relate to being outside of your now moment. The energy that is incorporated in both of those belief energies, you have chipped away at deeply. You have already understood that those belief systems exist, and they are not unconscious or subconscious too. They are widely in front of your eyes with your understanding and knowing more deeply. The second energy, a belief system that you work with, is that you have multiple limiting belief systems. And although you perceive that is true, in our own perspective, only the energies that you focus on in the moment are those that incorporate their resistance. So, in that way, you only have one limiting belief system at a time. Working with 10-step belief system process yet again will be of high use for you, of high value. Each time you are bumping into those places that hold resistance will be the moments in which beneficial energy can be experienced from the expression of formulating the 10-step processes. We thank you for this.
Yeah, and I'm going to also try to slowly get the, I'll do this in between, but I'm going to get the 10 steps up for you guys. That's free, so that in case you guys don't know about that, you can look into that and be able to work on it, because there's a video and a worksheet on it that's very helpful.
We also wish to express that if you are looking for 3, we have given you 2, although 3 exist within. If you are looking for finality for the third expression is that when it comes to all things, that work must be done in order to achieve them. Sometimes your belief teeters into the hard work area instead of the average forms of work. Yes, of course, living in a vibration is important in order to master that vibration, but working hard is not akin to being in a vibration. Being in a vibration can be quite easy if you understand what that vibration is supposed to feel. And by putting your own vibration frequency in that energy, in that moment, it does then place you into having no work at all, only shifting your essence of being in that now moment. We thank you.
And I wasn't laughing at you, by the way. I was laughing how Lily's just been cute, silly.
Yes, we understand.
So the third question Connie has, she says, can you tell why I picked the least spiritual place in the U.S. for this incarnation, the Kansas Bible Belt?
Yes, of course. In your own perspective, this place is very low vibrational and or not spiritual, but in our own perspective, it is highly spiritual. The spirituality that exists within there happens to be in form of Christianity. The energy of Christianity does produce resistant forms of human beings that utilize high forms of judgments towards others with the form of Christians that have taken the furthest version of Christianity available. But there are also many Christians within your vicinity that appear to be Christ-like in nature. They work on being Christ-like in nature. Those human beings are very positive and good beings. The feeling that you have about Christianity, the perspectives that you have about those who are Christian, and your own judgments upon those that practice Christianity, all help allow a co-creation with you to only bump into those that are highly resistant, highly judgmental, and highly nuisance to your own energy. If you were to replace the belief system that says those that are Christian are those that are judgmental, and I live in the middle of all the judgment in the world, this can drastically change your day-to-day experience. Simply shift the vibration to I live within a Christian community, and I believe that there are many that are trying to work in being Christ-like. Now, when we say Christ-like, what we mean are those who desire to follow the teachings of Jesus Christ when it comes to loving, when it comes to loving yourself and to loving others, and when it comes to being gracious with yourself. That, in our own perspective, are Christ's teachings that are pearled. The diamond within those teachings are the same form of energy that we would share with you in this moment ourselves, meaning that all religions have one form of truth from your perspective within them. If you were to dig deeply enough within all of them, you would find commonality around degrees consciousness, degrees of soul essences, and soul eternal. If you see an eternal version of soul in all religions, then you understand it resonates and synchronizes with your own beliefs. We thank you for this.
Thank you, and pun intended, Connie, you're preaching to the choir. With me on this one, if it had been asked to me, like, I grew up in the North Carolina Bible Belt, and I even got shot at for not being Christian, no joke. So I can understand the potential PTSD you may have there. For me, I literally developed that with that. And when I moved from California to Michigan, even though it's not the Bible Belt, it's Christian dominant. And a lot of the Christians here, they are more, what I would say, looking to be in that Christ-like energy and nicer. It was very healing. So I definitely agree with Aridif that trying to focus on the nicer Christians, the ones who are trying to be understanding of you, at the very least tolerant, you know what I mean, is really, really nice, rather than focusing on, the jerks. Sorry, I'm going to say it. That's how I perceive it too. So that's my own, I guess it's my own trauma that I have to work out. But I feel you on that. I really, really do, because I do know what it's like to be in the South, and in your case, absolute Midwest. So definitely within the Bible Belt. So, but I send you lots of love there. And what about expanding upon Aridif? What if she's just unhappy there? What is, like, if she wanted to free herself and go elsewhere? What would she need to do to free herself from that? Because, like, for instance, some people have kids, they can't just up and leave. So what's your advice for those that might want to get out or create a different situation in the place that they're in, beyond what you just said?
Yes, of course.
I know I'm kind of expanding on the question, but I just really want to help her with this one.
Yes, of course. First of all, to not perceive difficulty in the complexities of moving. We understand there are beliefs by many people that you are stuck in one place or logistically cannot move from one place to the other. So starting with that belief, working through 10-step belief system is important. If you finally deduce that you are in fact only able to be in the area that you are for any valid reason in your own mind, then start with the expression that those places that you desire to be with, those places that you desire to take your physical body into and to move into, are places that in your own mind are perfect or better fitting for your vibration. What we have suggested, what archangels have suggested, what multiple beings have suggested is what we will suggest to you now. Take the vibration of the place that you desire to be at and make it your home. Bring that vibration into your life in every way at every moment. Immerse yourself in that vibration. For example, if you were desiring to move to the Florida region, you would place pictures of tropical trees. You would place pictures of alligators, etc. Anything that you design and understanding and synchronicity to from that new place would bring forward that vibration into your house, into your day-to-day life, and into your thought processes, and turn the vibration of where you are from the place that you desire to be and turn into that place you desire to be. Therefore, your home can be where your vibration dictates instead of that in which your beliefs dictate. We thank you for this. As you are all aware, it is our time to disconnect for this evening. But before disconnecting, we wish to express, first of all, greetings, thank you, and goodbye to you also, Kalina.
Greetings, thank you, and goodbye, and I love you very much, Aridif. Lily is up. She says bye.
Yes, of course. Not only are you both loved, but we love you as well.
We love you very deeply. You and Treb, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, of
spending
course.
Extra time with us tonight.
Yes, of course. And one thing that we wish to express is that as you have found the answers of your questions through the reflections of ourselves or others, you first find new information from your own perspective. In your perspective, you are growing from that. We do see growth. We also perceive growth in the understanding of that which was unattainable or perceivably unattainable from your mind. Now, as you are growing, we are also growing. We are connected with you in that moment, and we are connected with you as all are connected through oneness. As we have asked the energy of our own higher understanding for the answers of reflection, so too if you ask your own questions. This secular version of energy produces growth within both sides. As you grow, so do we grow. Those answers that were unseeable are also parts reflective of our own areas of consciousness yet to be perceived. As you grow, we grow. We congratulate you for your growth. We thank you for ours. We bid you do for this evening. You are loved.
I do think you are.
I do.
Welcome back, baby.
Hi.
How you feeling?
All right. How do you go?
It went really well. You channeled quite a while there. Look who's up.
No,
She's in a good mood. She just stayed.
No, not my baby girl burglar.
Trying to do a gentle bird. Yes, that's funny. In case you guys are wondering, what did you just say? For some reason, one of her many nicknames, the invented one by Daddy, is Burglar.
Yeah, she's my baby burglar.
We decided, well, it must be because she burgled our hearts.
That's
Gladly, we're happy.
I don't know where it came from. One day before, like in Kalina's second trimester, I'm like, hey, little burglar, goo.
Goo burglar,
yeah. Goo burglar, yeah.
Because the goo came from me because I used to always call Chini baby goo, and she's like, he's like, baby goo, that's gross. He's like, goo. I'm like, no, that's my cute way of saying girl.
Goo, like baby talk girl.
So now she's the baby goo also.
But she's also the goo burglar.
The goo burglar.
Yeah.
And then we have this funny
I gotta
thing.
use the restroom. You can continue.
Before you do, super quick.
Yeah.
We gotta do this together. Whenever she starts stirring, we go, burglar alert, burglar alert, burglar alert, like there's an alert going off.
I don't know.
We gotta catch her. Here.
No, I don't want to touch it. Apparently, whatever was on the bottles now in my hand.
We don't want her to actually be a goo burglar.
Yeah.
Gooey. A gooey burglar.
Oh, man.
Although she's drooling a bit. She's as gooey as it is.
Yeah. I'll be back. You can continue talking, sweetie, for everybody.
Nice, coast to coast. So you've been traveling around, Connie? That's awesome. Yeah, and I was thinking too when Aridif was talking about that, placing light versus palm trees and alligators, and it brought me back to the whole vision board idea. I think hanging up a vision board too at home would be good, because that's the thing I've been wanting to do. Is I had started one like online one, but then like I have to log in to see it, so I've been thinking I just want to do an old school vision board and hang it up, and because there's a lot, and I think for me I kind of have to go general, because like I thought a lot about freeing up the energy, maybe moving back to California someday, but then I don't know, I want to kind of be open to what we'd really like to do is be able to travel, but we want to be able to do it safely with Jeremy, because we don't know if he can fly with the condition of his brain and all of that, and how easy it would be to travel, because in case he has seizures or something, you have to have a hospital. So you want to talk about really like freeing up certain belief systems, like major 10-step work, because as a parent we want to make sure that both of our kids get what they need first and foremost. But Rob's and my dream's always been to just travel around the world doing channeling, and we'd love to be able to take at least Lily with us, and when we're not traveling we'd all be together, but we don't want to just like leave Jeremy high and dry. There'd have to be like a family member or someone to look after him when we're traveling like a week or two at a time and then coming back home predominantly. So there's a lot of options. We'll see how it goes. Right now, Lily Face has to get a little older, right? And then get our schedule down and get things rolling online. Yeah, you're happy, girl. You say anything to everybody? Do you want to say something? She's been very talkative, making lots of sounds lately, but she's just a little more quiet now. Yeah? You're thinking about eating more? Yeah? Daddy's up. You want to have Daddy burp you. Daddy's the burp master of the universe. Like, I'll try to burp her and I can get little burps out. I swear I'll put her in his arms and she's like, burp. Yeah. Get wound up. Yeah. She's kicking. Yeah. Well, I'll try to latch you, but you don't take it. You want a pacifier, don't you? Okay, when Dad comes back, I'll see if we can get one for you. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Oh, Deborah, that's so sweet. I hope you guys don't mind. I was actually thinking whenever she's in a good mood, I'd just have Lilith with us at the Asheville workshop. I mean, why not? Most of the time, most babies are pretty jovial and good, as long as she's not too much overtaking it. I would take her back. But thank you for that. I think for me, I'm just so enamored by her. You can ask Rob. I don't even want to like stay away from her for short. But oh, baby, can you get her? I think she wants a pacifier. She wasn't taking more milk. I think she just wants to pacify on something.
Okay.
So.
Do you know where one might be at?
Yeah, on top of the stroller.
Oh,
right there.
yeah,
One
gotcha.
one. Thank you.
Yeah.
She's doing so much better, guys. That nap was just what she needed. Big long nap. Are you going to continue napping later so mommy can take a nap too?
And as you guys
His
know,
daddy has to nap right away so he can get Bubby up. But
as you guys know too, when I'm done channeling, I get pretty ungrounded. So I'm going to call it a night very soon. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. We love you guys. Thank you guys who are tuning in later. And thank you guys for sticking with us through the craziness that's been the last couple months and even the last 2 years. Probably 2/3 of it have been all right, but the other third's been a little crazy. So thank you for sticking in there, and thanks for hanging in there with us, guys. We love you so much.
But what's amazing is now we have Jeremy with us. So
yeah, Jeremy is a full-timer with us. For those of you who might have missed that information, he will be staying with us permanently. So
well, they've
that's a
left
big
a
thing.
loophole if she's able to manage. We'll see how that goes. But this book is pretty finite at this point. So it just depends how much his mom really wants
to get that back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it is going to be pretty extensive for her to do that now because now they know he's really, his health and well-being was in danger. So it's really nice so that they'll at least try to leave that open for her to get help,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because we certainly don't want to keep him apart from his mom if she wants that. And, you know, we don't know what she's dealing with or going through, and that's just between all of us. We ever really
we don't talk this deeply publicly because it's not something that's really public talk. But
in fact, probably the cut ones to the public, we'll probably cut out our conversations. That's just for you guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Smart.
Mm-hmm. But
sorry to Russell, guys, but I have to eat something. So I'm eating a vegan cookie.
It's funny, you brought it home and he didn't know it was a vegan cookie, and because I'd been vegan, I had tried it like 3 times for long periods of time and it just wasn't working for my health and well-being in the long run. At first it was amazing. It's really good for clearing the body, but then it got to be too clear, let's put it that way. And I was getting too malnourished. But bless you. I knew immediately it was a vegan cookie just from reading. I'm like, oh my God, that's so awesome. I'm like, where was this cookie several months ago?
Because it's actually
when I was
a
last
decent
vegan?
tasting cookie.
It really is. It tastes like a gingerbread cookie made with applesauce with a dried cake kind of texture.
Yeah, that is a good way to explain it.
Yeah. What's the name brands? You want to try it out?
It's Lenny and Larry's Complete Cookie, and the kind we got is the Snickerdoodle.
And it was in
Rite Aid.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those of you guys that are vegans, vegetarians, or you go on vegan moments. What's the matter, baby? Kiki. She either has gas or I'm gonna try to teach her. Aw, baby, come here, sweetie.
Baby girl.
Okay. Let's try.
She has for the last week.
It's okay.
The last week, too, I've noticed that sometimes she gets fussy when I hold her too close to me because she wants to kind of have her own space independent.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if she wants milk.
Yeah, that might be the truth.
Well, the thing is, sometimes she gets frustrated because she gets excited and pushes her arms and legs forward, but then I can't get to her. I mean,
Yeah, she's at the awkward growing stage.
the awkward growing.
Well, no, I'm just saying for breastfeeding.
I thought that was a teen years.
For breastfeeding, the people came in and taught you how to deal with a miniature,
Yeah, because she was so tiny.
18-inch kid, and now she's 20-some inches, plus she's fat.
Oh, she's not.
I didn't mean.
She's not 20-something inches yet, I don't think.
Yeah,
What
she's
is
over
she
20
now?
inches.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Nice, because the last time before.
See, and that's the thing I'm saying. She's like 20 plus inches, like 20 or 21. My son Jeremy was born at 21 and a quarter.
She's not that fat yet, though.
No,
Working on it, though.
I just mean she's getting
Her
bigger.
baby-
Her weight's
baby's fat.
getting bigger, right? Yeah, she's
You
not
body
fat.
shaming a 2-month-old. Great job, baby.
Yeah, great job.
Fantastic. She'll have a great body.
Great
when it's
parenting, right? Yeah, it definitely wasn't how I meant
She
it,
was
but
really like underweight. We had to work really hard because she had blood sugar.
her growth chart has been amazing. When we went
Yeah.
to the pediatrician, they showed us the average
She
growth
was
chart, and she's riding
real.
that line perfectly.
Yeah. Yep. And I broke some rules that the lactation consultants I told you guys about yesterday. I think I did.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Hey, it's working." She's like,
Whatever you're doing, don't
she's
stop.
like, if she lost weight, I'd be lecturing you, but clearly you knew something.
Proofs in the pudding.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna go because I've still got many things to eat to ground.
All healthy stuff, though.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see.
You got some. Oh yeah, I saw those graham crackers snuck back.
Well, that was
there.
yesterday. Yeah. No, I had one. They're not even that good though. Really. I get spoiled with organic stuff, so that non-organic doesn't always matter. I'm gonna get a shake, I think.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, thank you guys so much. We love you guys so much, and
Yes.
we definitely are happy that you guys have been here with us and for us. And like Kalina said, once we get everything straightened out, we're gonna repay that kindness with some really awesome stuff that's extra for you guys. So
I definitely think an event for them.
well, yeah, but there's a couple things I've been thinking about for a couple months to really help share our love with these guys. So
Stuff I haven't heard yet.
a couple you have, a couple you have not. So we will talk about those. Anyway, guys, we love you. We're jumping off for the night. This month, because we don't have weeks without Jeremy, we're going to try to, instead of at the end of the month, try to get mid-month so that you guys will have a couple weeks ahead notice. You guys will get time to vote, time to share your ideas. And we'll try to, before the weekend's up, put up the suggestion for the poll ideas and get a link for you guys for the Q&A so you have at least a couple weeks to deal with it. So we love you guys. We'll see you very soon.
Yes, we shall.
Love you guys, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye. Good night, guys.
Good night.